जा बाबा के अंतर द्वार, उड़ जा प्यारे वतन में, नीले अंबर के उस पार। पंछी रे पंचेंद्रिय का छोड़ दे बंधन, तन मन से तू हो जा समर्पण। पंचेंद्रिय का छोड़ दे बंधन, तन मन से तू हो जा समर्पण। दिव्य ज्योतिर्मय देह धारण कर, बाबा के पास जा होके मगन। प्रेम की डोर में मोती पिरो के, प्रेम की डोर में मोती पिरो के, कर ले सच्चा श्रृंगार। उड़ जा प्यारे वतन में, नीले अंबर के उस पार, नीले अंबर के उस पार। पंछी रे बन के फरिश्ता बाबा से मिलना, देना संदेश हमारा। बन के फरिश्ता बाबा से मिलना, देना संदेश हमारा। याद प्यार हम सबका देना, लावतन का नजारा। सच्ची लगन से बन जा बाबा के, सच्ची लगन से बन जा बाबा के। तू गले को हार, उड़ जा प्यारे वतन में, नीले अंबर के उस पार। हो नीले अंबर के
बाबा की याद में सभी की याद पर लेते हुए भोग लगाने के निमित्त जब वतन में पहुंची तो बाबा ने दृष्टि से मुलाकात की। फिर मैंने कहा बाबा भोग लाए हैं आपके लिए, ईशु दादी के लिए। हम सबकी भावना है कि ईशु दादी को हम भोग स्वीकार कराएं, तो बाबा ने खुद भोग स्वीकार किया, फिर ईशु दादी को भी कराया। बाबा ने कहा कि देखो संगम युग पर भोग लगाते हैं तो उसकी यादगार भक्ति मार्ग में भी चलती है ना भोग लगाने का। ये नहीं कि भक्ति मार्ग में प्रथा है इसलिए संगम युग पर है। यहाँ तो जो भी आत्माएं जाती हैं सभी एक ही परिवार है, और जो परिवार के पूर्वज हैं उनको तो भोग लगाना ही होता है। लेकिन भक्ति मार्ग में जो भोग लगाते हैं वो ये भावना नहीं होती कि हमारा परिवार है। वहां पर भक्ति में भोग लगाते हैं तो मनोकामना रखते हैं। यहाँ तो बाबा को प्रेम से अपने परिवार की जो भी आत्माएं हैं उनको प्रेम से भोग लगाते हो, कोई मनोकामना तो नहीं रखते। बाबा ने कहा एक एक बच्चा खुद बाबा ने जैसे उन एक एक की मूर्ति कहो बाबा ने खुद बनाई है। सब भिन्न भिन्न हैं, सब एक जैसे नहीं है, पर अगर ये ख्याल हो कि भगवान मेरी मूर्ति बनाई है तो हर एक अपनी विशेषताएं देखे और उस विशेषता के आधार पर फिर महिमा योग्य भी बनते हो, पूजनीय भी बनते हो। तो फिर बाबा ने कहा कि ईशु दादी बहुत विश्वास पात्र थी। भगवान का खजाना संभालना, उसमें बाबा ने कहा 100%, 1% भी कमी नहीं थी उनकी ईमानदारी में। ईमानदारी में अगर संकल्प में भी आ जाता है कि मैं और मेरा, तो वो भी ईमानदारी नहीं है। तो ईशु दादी का न केवल संकल्प तक, पर कभी भी उन्होंने अपने प्रति कुछ भी नहीं लगाया, न एक तरफ रखा। नहीं कहते चलो थोड़ा तो रख ले हम। तो एकदम विश्वास पात्र। भगवान का खजाना था तो भगवान ने खुद बनाई वो मूर्ति खजाना संभालने के लिए। न केवल ये परंतु सारे परिवार का भी बहुत बहुत विश्वास था। और ऐसा विश्वास प्राप्त करना हर बात में, न केवल धन में, उनके चरित्र में, उनके कार्य व्यवहार में, संबंध संपर्क में, सब बहुत ईमानदारी थी। तो आज बाबा ने कहा कि वो तो एक मूर्ति थी, आप सभी एक एक मूर्ति हो और आप सभी में बहुत विशेषताएं हैं, पर एक जरूर और ज्यादा विशेष होगा। तो आज बाबा कहते हैं सभी अपनी विशेषताओं को देखो और उसको ईमानदारी से 100%, मेरे को बाबा ने ये गिफ्ट दी है, मुझे यज्ञ में सफल करने। कौन सा गिफ्ट है? कोई भी गुण, कोई भी विशेषता। तो बाबा ने कहा वो अटेंशन रखने से सम्मान भी बढ़ेगा और सबसे सम्मान भी मिलेगा, और आप भी सभी को ऐसे ही एक दूसरे को देखो कि भगवान की बनाई वो मूर्ति है, भगवान बना रहा है इसको, उसने बनाया है। एक एक को ईश्वरीय कार्य अर्थ बाबा ने उत्पत्ति कही या बना रहा है, तो ये संकल्प आप रखो, तो आपको बहुत वरदान महसूस होंगे। तो ईशु दादी तो सुन के भी बहुत मुस्कुरा रही थी। बाबा ने मेरी तरफ देखा, मैंने कहा मेरा भी ऐसा ही अनुभव है जैसा आप सुना रहे हैं। ऐसे कहते हुए फिर बाबा ने बहुत बहुत सभी के लिए बहुत याद प्यार दी। जो भी भोग लगाते हैं, बनाते हैं, लाते हैं, सभी के प्रति बहुत बहुत याद प्यार। I was sharing in Hindi because the sisters in Madhuban, they want in Hindi. But Baba was saying each one of us had been created by God. Each one has very, very special qualities. And one of the special quality of Ishu Dadi was very, very honest. Honesty to an extent where she never even thought, I and mine, this is mine, people are giving, so I am the one who is taking care. No, there was not even subtle way as I. And because of that, she really, really was number one in honesty with Baba. So each one of you, you think of yourself as creation of God, and I have been created for a particular purpose to play that part. So recognize that speciality, stay in that self-respect, and you will get respect. And you also give respect to everyone because each one is the part of creation and creation for the task, right? Each one had been created to do Baba's task in a particular way. So recognize yourself and be in that self-respect. Om Shanti.
Shanti, thank you, Didi. So, just for you all to know that today was the fourth day, and we'll be doing until 13th day offering of bhog for Ishu Dadiji. And until then, we will not do the Hindi series, which we used to do around 7 o'clock. And also, when after bhog offering, when Didi is sharing in Hindi, we do translate in English. If you select English language, you can always listen there. But the same book message Didi speaks in English after Hindi. So just for you all to know, this will happen next few days. Thank you. Welcome to Avakti Parivar. Today is step 10 and it's chapter 4. The story of immortality, the drama of 4 ages, spinning the cycle of time. Now listen to Mohini Didi.
Om Shanti. We had so many our beliefs or concepts in before coming to Baba. And one definitely, I think it's in all religions, all scriptures, everything happens according to will of God. Or they will say, God is the one who gives, He does. A lot of people, they keep accepting sorrow in their life by saying, this is also gift from God, so I should accept it with happiness. So they don't even think they have to be free from sorrow. Maybe it's comforting for some to think that way, or it brings some power. But now we understand that there are three entities in interplay, right? God, elements or nature, and the soul. So soul has to perform actions And then there are result or rewards or settling of all those actions. We call it karmas. So everything what happens, whether externally what one has or internally, emotionally, whatever one goes through, all that is actually soul's own karmas, actions. And then the nature, the elements has its own energy. And actually nature elements are also live, you know. It has its own energy. That is why a plant, there are vegetables in the plant. You take out and they will grow again, right? Trees, you take out fruits, but then it will bear again. So it has this live energy. So they are sensitive also, like soul has sensitivity. Same is nature. And that is why, you know, they say always, when you are watering plants, do it with lot of love. You think that nature feels love from us. Definitely. That is why when we talk, when we walk, when we look at the nature, there should be that love in us. Very, very appreciative outlook towards nature. And that is why they have created this custom of grace the food before you eat. We also offer to Baba. So we thank you, Baba, but also thank nature. Because if elements doesn't provide, can you imagine if air stops or sun doesn't give heat or there is no water? Body cannot survive. Humanity cannot survive. Not only that, but then the quality. We don't respect nature, so we create lot of pollutions, not only in a external way, but through our thoughts also, through greed, through attachment. So it has own cycle of sato, rajo, tamo. As the soul descends, the quality of elements, the function of element, and sometimes there are more calamities. So it is important to understand what the elements and the nature's role is. And then God, He has His divine acts. And Baba says, I never interfere. I am also in the bondage of drama means there are karmas, there are elements, but yes, whatever I have, uh, that can be bestowed. So I make efforts, I do a lot of yoga, so I receive from Baba and I could settle karmic accounts. And I can create elevated actions and balance my account. If there is lot of uh, negative or vicious actions, and I keep now doing pure and elevated and charitable actions. So it balances, right? So Baba, what Baba does, is that whatever efforts we make, Baba gives the reward based on that. It's not he's doing any favor, right? Let's say we live the life of purity. So when there is purity, then I am connecting with Baba who is ever pure, but also the vibrations I am spreading is purifying the nature also. That's why Baba always say you purify yourself and the nature. So we are very, very clear about what God does, what's the role of elements, nature, and what is my part. It's really quite interesting subject to understand because everything was so entangled, right? Everything God does or he doesn't do anything, I am the one, or something, nature is God. So they worship nature. But Baba is saying that everything was worship worthy. But now all of you have to first become worship worthy. That's what Baba is making us. So Baba's role in the world drama and also in my life has to be understood. So it's not that if I remember Baba, bus will come quickly. But yes, if I remember Baba, it's not Baba will send bus, but it will come early. I remember last many knew Baba's children. You are waiting on the train station and train is not coming. Baba, please send train. So Baba is not going to send train, but your energy of remembrance will work out something for you. So do believe that there is help, and that is definitely through your efforts, but response could be from nature and also from God. So it's a very, at every step in your life, you watch and think about what I have to do and what the nature will play a part and what will Baba or God will do for me. If you really understand clearly, then yes, of course, you will appreciate and be very thankful every time, Baba, really it happened. You helped me. You can't stop saying that, right? Even if you know that it's through remembrance. But response was from Baba, right? Lot of divine, magical events happen in the life where we keep saying, must be Baba, must be Baba. Even for us meeting every evening since one and more than a year, I always say, must be Baba. Then I say, oh, must be drama. So think about it. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. So now let's begin our journey. Would like to invite our two angels. Welcome.
Step 10, spinning the cycle of time. As I arrived for my next lesson with my teacher, I find a large piece of parchment paper on my chair. And as I open it fully, turning it slightly, I see there is a drawing of a large circle and that it is divided into 4 equal parts. Each part or quadrant is a different color. and within each there are small images. I am so engrossed in these images that I do not hear my father approach. Suddenly he is here, and my attention flies from the parchment to him. He nods and settles down next to me, laying the piece of parchment across our laps. His index finger moves across the parchment and comes to rest in the quadrant on the upper right, which is the lightest of the four. It portrays a beautiful land filled with golden light. This, he says, is the beginning of the cycle of time on Earth. He begins to tell me the grandest story I have ever heard. And as he is talking, his finger moves steadily around the circle on the parchment, and I begin to understand that my inner spiritual being is involved in some sort of epic drama on a scale so vast that I lost the sight of the edges of it. I sit close to him and listen with rapt attention.
The Father explains that my teachings tell you the story of the world. What is the story? Your story. He is telling you the story of the past, present, and future. It is the story of the cycle of time in which the world moves from day to night, and then from night to day. The world cycle makes one complete turn every 5,000 years. It has 4 quadrants: golden, silver, copper, and iron. At the beginning, in the golden age, the soul leads a full life. All hearts are full. At that time, the world was Satopradhan, in its highest state of truth and purity. The beings, who we now call deities, were self-sovereign and wore a double crown. One is the crown of light, which represents their high level of purity, and the other is the crown of jewels, which represents their ruling power. It is called heaven. In the second quadrant, the silver age is semi-heaven. All souls in both the golden and silver age live as self-sovereigns. The next quadrant, the copper age, is called the age of duality. It is the time when purity is lost and the souls experience a void, an emptiness. They become trapped in their sense organs for attainments, and their actions tie the soul in bondage and they become corrupt. Purity is mixed with impurity, order with disorder, and truth with falsehood. The last and darkest quarter of the cycle is the Iron Age. It is the age of total darkness and insolvency. Happiness vanishes and it is replaced by sorrow. The world reaches to its state of absolute impurity. All truth is lost, and there is only chaos. Then there is a fifth incognito short age, which no one knows about. This is where you are now, the confluence age. Darkness is ending and the light is beginning. The day dawns through the light of knowledge. The Father comes to awaken the fortune of human beings.
I have almost stopped breathing and have become spellbound as the teacher has carefully laid out the story of how we travel through a 5,000-year cycle. I have never read or heard about this before. Let me continue to listen.
On listening to these secrets, you should not ask when the cycle was created. It is eternally made. If I had created it, you would then ask,
when did you create it?
So the question of when it began cannot arise. If you were told that it began at such and such a time, you would then ask,
when did it end?
But it never ends. The world cycle continues to spin. Within the cycle of time, there is a world drama. It too is eternal, predestined, and repeats identically. You are actors in this drama, and you have your part recorded within you. Not a single soul can be excused from playing a part. Your part continues eternally. It can never end, even though 1 second cannot be the same as the next. There is such subtlety in understanding this.
At first, as I listened to this lesson, I felt disorientated, as if to say, what is he talking about? I am an actor on a stage? This gives such a different perspective. He said that when I stepped into my first role in this drama, I knew it was a play and that I was a spiritual actor playing a part. I understood that I was putting on a physical costume, the body, and when that part finished, I would easily set it aside. Somehow, with the series of entries and exits on and off the stage, I had forgotten that this is a play. I was also amazed to hear how the cycle of time turns. I always thought time was linear. I realized that cycles are reflected in so many ways in the physical world. Just as the day is a cycle moving from early morning until late at night, and a year is a cycle within which there are seasons, these cycles spin within an even larger cycle. It all now makes sense.
We'd like to invite our guest for this evening, Sister Rita from Curacao, to come. Om Shanti, Rita.
You need to unmute yourself.
You're muted, Rita. So,
Om Shanti Rita, Om Shanti Julia,
Hello.
Om Shanti Didi, Om Shanti Parivar.
yeah,
What wonderful family.
so nice to have
It's
you.
an honor to be here tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Rita, we're thinking about, what question to ask. And it was because there were so many questions, because this particular lesson, I think, raises many, many questions for many of us when we first came, about what are we talking about? What is this? So what we'd like you to share is, what did you think when you first heard the story of the cycle of time?
Yeah. I used to be a physical teacher in school, so cyclic things were nothing new for me. So accepting that even the drama is a cycle was quite easy, but not totally. In that time, I was young in Gyan and going to classes with Sister Krishna. I was really wanting to learn, sitting in front on a thin cushion, and I would absorb the Murli. And then sometimes when Sister Krishna would say, like, Baba says we have to be Swadarshan Chakradari. And then she looks at me and she said, what does that mean, Sister Rita? And I would look at her and say, I don't know, Sister Krishna. But I wanted to know. And then when I heard about the cycle, accepting the cycle was okay. But then there came that small word. Yes, identically. Oh, that was the biggest problem. And I wanted to understand, but I couldn't believe, like, in 5,000 years, we will be sitting here again and you will be asking me the same questions and all those things. So I was really thinking over it. And in that time, we only had class on Thursday evening and on Sunday morning. And Sister Krishna would give us a batch of murlis, old murlis, and then you go through it the whole week. And then when you finish, you bring it back. So I was searching for truth. And I don't know when exactly it dawned to me. Journeying about it, hearing Baba talking about it, I was really like, this word, identically. Mm-mm. And then one day I was walking to school. And while walking to school, I saw this big television saucer on the roof of a house opposite the street, which I had to cross. And I thought, okay, there you are. In some time, you won't be there. And in 5,000 years, you will be standing there again. And I stood still and I asked myself, Rita, what did you tell yourself? And I repeated it to myself. And I don't know if it was that same day in school, because I was so happy that day in school that one of my students, they were making some, they were doing their tasks. And I was just watching them. They were working in small groups. And I was remembering Baba. And then at a certain point, one of the students sitting right in front of me looked at me. She said, "Ma'am, are you in love?" And I said, "Yes." But Sister Krishna had always asked me often, "Rita, Sister Rita, when are you going to give Raj Yoga course?" And I would always reply, "No, sister, I'm not ready." But I wouldn't tell her why, because I had a thought, if I want to give Raj Yoga course, I need to accept everything. And that was the only part in what I heard up to then that I couldn't accept. So after this experience with this saucer, I went to Sister Krishna. I said, "Sister Krishna, now I'm ready."
Now you're ready. Oh, that's a great story. That's a great story. So Rita, just how do you think it changed your life when you came to understand that that the cycle does repeat, identically, and you felt like you had really accepted it as part of your life. So then, how did you think about life differently, or did you think about life differently at that point?
Yes. For example, my father left body in 1996. That was shortly after he had paid my first ticket to Madhuban. And I could let him go, knowing that this is not the end. We will meet again. Same goes with my sister, who left the year after that, and my mother left in 2006. So it gave me so much confidence that everyone has to play their role and accept what is happening. That I never felt sorrow. And some people would ask me, "But didn't you cry?" No, because I could let them go, thanks to Baba. And it is really Baba who taught me, because we hardly had classes. So going through the Murli, all right, sometimes when I don't understand something, I would call Sister Krishna and say, "Sister Krishna, in the Murli says this. What does Baba mean?" So my beginning of my Brahmin life was different. No morning classes, only on Sunday morning. No classes where you can, like now, you can listen to classes wherever, whoever. We really had to go on our own journeyings. Yeah, think about all those things.
And it sounds like you did do your own turning, and to have these experiences, just wonderful. So thank you so much for coming on this evening. All right, we look forward to seeing you again tomorrow night.
Okay, thank you.
Om Shanti.
Sorry, hello everyone. I was waiting to be unmuted. Can you hear me? Yeah. So that was lovely. Thank you so much, Sister Rita. That was beautiful. I have two Ritas sitting in front of me now. And it was interesting listening to your story, because I had a little bit the same reaction. I thought, oh, what's the point of going round and round and round in circles? That was something I just couldn't get. But I decided that because I understood everything else, I would just put it to one side. And one of the things that I've learned through this journey is that if you do that, then the truth will come. It will seep in. It's almost a little bit like, the subtler your understanding becomes, you can almost see round corners. And then you understand and you get it in your heart when you have a problem with something. So I was very similar. Thank you. So now we are having our quest for our practice tomorrow. And for our Godly Dawn practice at Amrit Vela. In silence, I remember I am a soul, a traveler through time eternally. I am a soul, a traveler through time eternally. And then for our traffic control, as we travel through the day tomorrow, spin the cycle of time and then move forward. And of course, this can refer to our 5 forms, our Brahman, our angelic, our deity, our worthy of worship form, as we spin that cycle and then move forward. And our practice for the evening, our reflection. Remember your initial reaction upon hearing the lesson on the cycle of time. What is the difference between your original reaction and the way you feel about knowing this secret now? And you can write this down in 8 words that describe your thoughts and experiences on hearing the cycle of time, or you can draw that one word and illuminate that one word that describes the feelings that you had. So the cycle of time is such a big concept. And so what is the difference between your original reaction and how you feel about it now? Okay, so Om Shanti, and look forward to seeing you tomorrow.
Om Shanti. Thank you very much to Sister Julia, Sister Rita, and Sister Rita. So thank you. It was very nice sharing. We all enjoyed. Thank you. Thank you. So before we start our Vyakti journey, I would like to just remind everyone that we have a very special program coming up on 16th of May. So our 2 dear senior brothers, Brother Ken and Brother Charlie, will be with us in a Vyakti Parivar, and they will be sharing about the days of their childhood, and they will give us that experience as well, right? So please be with us to listen to those experiences, stories, and we have translations available in our Portuguese, French, Spanish, Hindi, Telugu, and Tamil, and that will be on 16th of May. Sunday, 4 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. New York time, and the Brazil time 5 to 6:30 p.m. and the Australia time is next day, which is 17th of May, 6 a.m. to 7:30 a.m. It will be into the same Zoom, our Vyakti Parivar Zoom. So please let all Baba's children know who would like to take benefit from this. It will be also live on YouTube and a Vyakti Parivar Zoom. So Brother Charlie and Brother Ken. So this is the special invitation for all Baba's children. This is for BKs only. Om Shanti. Thank you very much. And now let's start our journey, a Vyakti journey. Adi Dev stories of courage, pure love, and unshakable faith.
This is the story of 1961, which took place in a city called Hapur, Uttar Pradesh, India. There used to be a godly service center in Hapur. This place was opened upon many invitations from Baba's children. Just like other centers, this center was also functioning through Baba's children from all different ages. Many of the Shiv Shakti's fathers and husbands were still against their decision of living a pure life. During those days, there were preparations for elections in Hapur. There was the chatter of how to get most votes by all the political parties. Many of the residents of the city went to these political leaders and told them that if they managed to take Prajapata Brahma Kumari's center out from this city, they will give all their support for their success in the elections. All the religious leaders and priests were very happy to put in this request. After the establishment of this center in Hapur, many devotees had stopped going to temples. Many of the devotees who heard knowledge from Brahma Kumaris used to go to priests and question them about their beliefs of omnipresence and calling God from beyond name and form. This created rage of opposition in many of these leaders. Thus, many political parties and religious leaders have agreed to destroy this godly service center from Hapur. The wave of this opposition started by signing petitions. Many of the sloganeers started to go around the cities with big microphones and posters. The gates of the centers were now guarded by political youths. They started to cut the electricity and water supply to the center. The cleaners and the maintenance were forced to stop from going there. The landlord of the center was also given many warnings to give notice to these Brahmakumaris to empty the place as soon as possible. It came to a point where these opposition parties started to lock the gates of the centers. All Baba's children who used to go to the center on daily basis were stopped at the gates. They did not let anyone enter, and this opposition continued for many days. As time continued, many other states and leaders started to support this revolution. This chatter started to spread across the country through rumors and newspapers. All Baba's children who used to get sustained through that center started to gather up and write memorandum messages to the government. They requested the government to wisely look into the situation. After reaching to such an extent of violence, many of the citizens and the government started to develop dislike towards these opposition parties. Many started to see how they were using such violence on innocent mothers and daughters, where on the other side, the godly children were still standing stable like a lamp in their stage of peace and nonviolence. Later, a big press conference was arranged in Delhi regarding this matter. During the conference, students from this center openly shared all the opposition they have been tolerating. These news were drafted in a well manner and given to all the citizens of India. Government decided to deeply investigate Brahma Kumaris, and finally, after investigation, they came to a conclusion that there is no harm in taking this godly knowledge and following the highest code of conducts. Finally, the truth was revealed, and all the innocent mothers and daughters were now freed. The government offered even bigger house than before in Hapur for Godly Service Center. Total number of regular students started to increase after this scene of drama. Having seen this battle of a lamp and a storm, Baba said, "The one who insults us and defames us is our true friend. Even to such souls we have to give godly invitations. They also have a right over God's knowledge and powers. After all, God is everyone's Father."
Om Shanti. Thank you. That was amazing story, right? So truth is always revealed. So thank you. So remember, Baba will show drishti and take drishti. Would request everyone to turn on your video. Thanks. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Yes, always be happy. Watch drama, play your part. Om Shanti and good night, everyone.
Om Shanti.